The wind rushes to the walls. I guess this is an overthrow. And all I've come to know, it breaks away and crashes far below. The wind rushes over me, and all the curses and the worst things that made me.
Good morning, Bean Team. Today is Monday, the sun has just come up, and today we are starting TICE. So what is TICE anyways? Well, here's a little background for you. If we were to draw medical school as a rectangle, we could divide this rectangle directly in half. The first 2 years would represent our preclinical years. This is when we are in lecture, this is when we are reading books, and this is when we're really learning about the theory part of medicine. The second half of medical school is known as the clinical years, years 3 and 4. This is when we rotate through each specialty as well as choose electives based on our interests. Before medical school, we have the pre-med time. I have represented this with open arrows because it can really be as long as you want to make it. And of course, after medical school, we have residency, which is also represented by open arrows because depending on how much you want to specialize, residency can also be very long. So on paper, TICE really sounds like this very important transition point, but in reality, I think it's going to just be a lot of paperwork and a lot of modules. So hopefully by the end of this week, I will understand what the heck TICE is, and maybe, just maybe, I will kind of know what to expect for third year clerkship. So it is 7 o'clock now, which means I have an hour before CBL starts. So the game plan is I'm just gonna read over some stuff to hopefully get the most out of my learning experience in CBL this morning. For those of you who don't know what CBL is, it stands for case-based learning. It's where we go over a patient case and the patient's presentation pertains to whatever we're learning about that week, and it's 8 students. We work together to discuss the case, answer questions about it, and there's also a tutor present. Hello again. So it is just after 11 in the morning. We had our CBL, it went well, and then we had a Zoom Q&A with our faculty to hopefully have some questions answered, but I think it was more just them being like, we can't tell you anything for certain right now. So that's fun. Hey, so it is 1:45 p.m. and the afternoon slump is hitting so hard right now. I have my coffee, and then I've got my little desk set up out here. I've got my laptop stand, which I am still loving. I've got my water to stay hydrated. But I also have YouTube open. Bad Kian. Let's close this tab right now. I feel like all my vlogs as of late have been very complainy. I don't mean for them to be that way, but I think everyone has had a long school year. We're all a bit tired, a bit burnt out, and now this whole online system is like really testing our willpower when we didn't really have much of that left to begin with. Anyways, I have the lecture open. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna do it, and I will update you when I'm done. Hello, so I'm still here at my computer. Finally finished my lecture. I don't know how much of that information actually went into my brain. It was on like giving IV fluids and practical tips for fluid correction. Yeah, so that took me the entire afternoon, and now I'm gonna make dinner. Hey, don't get them all cheesy. So it's just after 11 p.m. I've been here with my laptop VC'd into a meeting for the past 4 hours. I sit on the Medical Undergraduate Society, so we were talking about some important things, and it was the AGM, but I'm very tired now. So I'm gonna go to bed, and I will see you tomorrow morning. So because the meeting went so late last night, I was like, I'm gonna sleep in today because I deserve sleep. But no, at 8:02, I get a message from my friend being like, hey, are you coming to portfolio? And I completely forgot we had a portfolio scheduled for 8 a.m. So I whipped my booty out of bed, ran to my laptop, signed in. I think it was like 8:03, 8:04 by the time I was all connected. So like, not terrible, but like still super awkward. My whole group was there, ready, waiting, and I was like, hey. Okay, so I am just looking over the schedule for today. So this is the schedule. At 11:30, I'm supposed to watch a lecture. And then in the afternoon, we have 2 live sessions, which I need to make sure I attend. Portfolio is up here, which I forgot about. Anyways, so I made whipped coffee last night, and I just made a bunch and put it in like this Tupperware thing so that I don't have to whip it every morning, and I think it worked out pretty well. It's separated a little bit, but I'm gonna put it over this glass of milk and see how it tastes. Yeah, it's pretty good. It pretty much tastes the same. It stays fluffy, which I wasn't expecting. I think it actually got like more mousse textured, like before it was more liquidy. Cool. This coffee trend is really taking off. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Everyone's saying Dalgona, but I know that that is wrong. Yeah, that is like a very Anglophone way of pronouncing it. Anyways, and also everyone's calling it the TikTok coffee, which it was not invented on TikTok. I feel like this coffee has been around much longer than TikTok. I believe it was very popular in Korea, but I think it might actually originate in India. Not sure on that. Should fact check it. But yeah, it's just funny how popular this coffee has become. It's become quite viral. And it's also interesting to see how little people actually know about it. They're like, oh, it's the TikTok whipped coffee. And yeah. Anyways, I gotta do some work now. So I have just under an hour, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to submit for portfolio. So afterwards we have to write up something. So yeah, I'm gonna get that out of the way, and then I will do some prep for the radiology live session just so that I can get the most out of it, and then we'll take it from there. So I just uploaded my write-up for portfolio. Basically, we just write about our goals and our learning and reflect on things. Okay, so I managed to finish the lecture and portfolio. No, I just want to sleep. So we have a radiology workshop. They sent us out the cases ahead of time, and I feel like I should look it over. I'm just so tired. I don't want to. But also, they might like call us out and ask for answers. So it would be nice if I had some idea of what was going on. I actually really like radiology. I think because I really like anatomy, so it's cool to see how the radiology correlates so closely with the anatomy. But I do sometimes find if the radiology is quite subtle, it's sometimes hard to pick up on what is abnormal, especially at this stage, because I feel like I haven't seen a lot of normal imaging. So it's something that's like a glaring abnormality I might not pick up on. Okay, I'm getting up. Goodbye, my sweet bed. Okay, so we just finished our radiology session. I actually really enjoyed it. It seemed like a lot of high yield type of imaging. So we went through some chest x-rays, some abdominal x-rays and spinal x-rays, and it was pretty fast paced. So it was kind of nice to have like that in-person kind of lecture style again. That is basically what happened this afternoon. And then now we have another lecture, and I believe it's going to be delivered by a 4th year student. And they're just sharing like tips and tricks for how to learn in clerkship. Alrighty, so I just finished last lecture of the day. It was another sort of group discussion with advice for 3rd year. We had some lovely 4th year students and people at the end of 3rd year who volunteered to sort of answer our questions. I think basically the big takeaway is that like people should not stress about 3rd year, even though it's easier said than done. and it's natural to feel kind of anxious before a new rotation, but at the end of the day, you're there to learn, and people don't really expect too much of you, and third year sounds like it's a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we start soon-ish, but until then, I will just keep working away. And now I would like to present to you a dramatic making of craft dinner. Good morning. It is Wednesday, hump day, and just working on CBL. It's 6:45, so I didn't sleep in today. Yeah, CBL starts at 8. We have this one and 2 more, and then we're actually done CBL. I can't wait. Alrighty, it is 7:58. I've got my breakfast, my whipped coffee and oatmeal, just showered, and we are about to start CBL. I'll see you later. Okay, so we just finished CBL, and our first lecture of the day is at 10 o'clock, so I'm going to blow dry my hair, finish getting ready. I feel like getting ready, even though you're staying at home, is very important, just to be like, okay, I'm presentable, the workday is starting. Also, Zoom has like cameras, so it's kind of nice to look somewhat put together. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then we have our clinical decision-making lecture. Okay, now that we are done getting ready, next step is to make the bed. Okay, now that that is done, we gotta start lecture, which I've been trying to avoid. Also, don't forget to stay hydrated. Alrighty, first lecture of the day is clinical reasoning for abdominal pain. I'm looking forward to this lecture actually, because abdominal pain is a very common complaint. And yeah, it would be nice to have a more structured approach. Right now, if I saw a patient with abdominal pain, I'd probably just be like grasping at straws and just like pulling whatever I can remember out of my brain, but not really having a systematic approach. So yeah, in medicine, having like a system that you consistently use every time is really, really important, because it helps make sure that you don't miss anything. So hopefully this will help with developing a system. Okay, so we've got one lecture down, and we've got 4 more things on the schedule today to get through. That's okay. The next one is on Antimicrobial Stewardship. So yeah, the abdominal pain lecture was not as helpful as I was personally hoping it would be. It was really just kind of a review of things that we already know. So yeah, oh well, it made it easy to go through. Hi, it's so nice outside. Okay, so I just finished going through the antibiotic, antimicrobial lecture. I was trying really hard to focus, but honestly, it's like really hard. Basically, we talked about the top infections we're gonna see in third year. So pneumonia, UTI, and soft tissue infections. Acute pneumonia is always bacterial or viral, whereas chronic pneumonia has other causes. Looked at some chest x-rays. The Krebs score, which I totally forgot about, but we learned about that in first year. Then we talked about C. difficile, and then we talked about some UTIs, as well as things that are safe versus not safe in pregnancy. And then we talked about some cellulitis. It's too bad TICE isn't in person, because I feel like this is the last time our whole class would have been together in terms of like classes and things, because next year we kind of divide into our different streams for rotating through clerkship, and then 4th year you're like all over the place for electives, and it's a pretty chill time, like nobody's stressing about exams or anything. So yeah, it would have been fun to kind of like see my classmates more. Anyways, it is lunchtime, thank goodness, because I am starving. So I'm having leftover mac and cheese with broccoli for lunch. I feel like there's a good chance someone's gonna comment on the fact that I'm eating Kraft dinner and broccoli, but that's okay. All right, finished lunch. I'm gonna have a really quick nap, just half an hour, and then I'm getting back to work. Okay, so it is 3 o'clock, actually it's 3:30. Dang it. It's now 3:30. I am back at my little workstation and got my iced coffee going. Doing decaf iced coffee because it's too late in the day for caffeine. Napped a little longer than I was hoping, but that's okay. I have a lecture and a module to go through until I'm done everything for today. Alrighty, so I finished the lecture module, woohoo! They were really short, they were only like 20 minutes, half an hour each, so that was good because I don't think I could have handled anything longer. Anyways, now we are going to make some dinner, and on the menu tonight is a chicken and veggie stir fry. Good evening, so it's 6:30, I'm just sitting at my desk, and I decided I would do some more online med-ed videos on obstetrics and gynecology. And I just watched a YouTube video from Matt D'Avella, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I really like his channel, and he had a video on reaching a flow state, so I'm gonna see if I can get into a flow state. Alright, so it's 8 o'clock and I'm done. I'm not done, but I'm done. Like, me is done, not that the tasks are done. Anyways, don't forget to relax and take the night off every now and then, because that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning. Hello, so it is 1 p.m. We have a live Zoom session at 1:30. I've got my cup of coffee for the afternoon, and I'm gonna try and squeeze in a quick ECG before we have our live session. I'm starting to understand why cardiology is like a long residency and a subspecialty within internal medicine, because ECGs ain't easy, and cardiologists do a lot more than just look at ECGs, but that part alone is messing with my brain. So this is an ECG. ECGs and EKGs are the same thing. EKG is just for the German word. In English-speaking settings, both ECG and EKG is used. I did hear a lecturer say one time that he prefers EKG because there's less confusion, since ECG sounds a lot like EEG, especially if you're like talking over the phone with the doctor and it's like noisy or whatever. And an EEG is an electroencephalogram, which is looking at your brain, which is very different than an electrocardiogram. And an EGG is an egg. Credit to my friend Al for that one. So the first thing you want to do when you're looking at one of these bad boys is determine the rate, rhythm, axis, and intervals. And it's important to have a very standardized approach, especially when you're first starting out, because you don't want to miss critical diagnoses. So the reason why you want to do these steps first is it helps you go down different parts of the flow chart, and then you kind of end up with a differential diagnosis. Alrighty, so we just finished a lecture on opioids and palliative care. I thought it was a good and interesting lecture. I think for me the main takeaways were that pain is pain no matter the type of pain, and if it's severe it needs to be treated, and there's a lot of stigma around opioids, but they're actually very effective in pain management. So that was my learning points from the lecture. Don't take that out of context. Okay, so next up on the schedule is to go through some ECGs. Okay, so I'm just reading over the directions for TICE students doing these practice ECGs. We have to achieve 60% accuracy on the ECG diagnosis on the last 20 ECGs that you read. You might be thinking like 60%, that's not that bad. That's like almost 50%, which is half. But the thing is, anytime I come across an ECG that is remotely complicated, I have a hit rate of 0%. Also, they say that we will probably have to do about 70 ECGs to achieve this level of competency. Okay, update. The first ECG was like, is this normal? And it was a normal sinus rhythm. I was expecting them to whip out some Wolf Parkinson White, some Tossades de Points. That was easy, but we are in ECG 1, so. The first one was easy. Second one, not so much. I would say that these ECGs are pretty consistent with what should be expected with us at our level. I managed to get one right, other than normal, so yay, it's a miracle. Oh baby, we got another one! Guys, I'm on a 3 ECG streak, it's a miracle. Oh my gosh, 4 for 4. No, dang it. Oh dear. That's not good. I've done 15 ECGs and I need to do a minimum of 30 to be able to see my progress. I think I get most nervous when it's a normal ECG because I'll think it's normal, but then I'll look really close and be like, is that ST elevation that I'm seeing? Is it? But no, it never is. Oh my gosh, okay, 3 more to go. Yes, we got it. Okay, we finally unlocked the dashboard after 30 questions, and I have no idea what the heck all this means. Oh, okay, well, apparently I met the competency requirements. And now you all know what school I go to. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I got like a disproportionate amount of easy ECGs. I feel like they just like randomized them. So this is the website if you want to practice. I didn't show the ECGs while we were working through them because like with my school's content stuff, I'm always a bit worried about like copyright infringement, but you just had to like sign in with a Google account. So I guess if you want to practice ECGs, I think you can access that, but I'm glad we are done that and now we're gonna have dinner. Credit of Scotty. Scotty made the pizzas. PSA, everyone listen up. Alrighty, so it is Thursday night and tomorrow is Good Friday of the 4-day, that's 8, 4-day Easter long weekend. I am going to make a personal goal to take the day off tomorrow and just work on stuff other than school because I feel like I am kind of slowly going insane. Basically, our situation with school and exams and starting clerkship is constantly evolving and changing, and we never really know for sure what's going on. So yeah, this is like a really big turning point, which I've talked about before. We're at TICE, we're going to start clinical stuff eventually, but we just don't know when. And then in addition to not really knowing what's happening with exams, we also don't know how the exams are going to impact us and whether we're going to move on to third year. So med school is normally pass-fail, and this pass-fail is determined by our exams. Now they've taken that and completely turned it upside down. So not only are the exams no longer pass-fail, they're just like kind of for fun to see how we're doing, but they have like this whole different criteria of how they're going to evaluate whether we move on to third year but we don't know what that criteria is. The best way I can summarize how I'm kind of feeling about this year is it's like you're running a marathon and you're almost at the end, and then a crisis happens and the race officials are like, oh, marathon? No, 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 this is the Ironman that you're doing. And you go, but doesn't the Ironman start with a swim? And they're like, no, you ran the run part, so we won't make you do that again, but now you have to swim and bike. And because you didn't know you were doing the Ironman, you don't know like the race course, you don't know how long it is, you don't know how to do the other events. So this makes it impossible to pace yourself. And this is so true of our situation. We kind of know like when our for sure vacation time is, but we don't know when our vacation time is going to end. And there have been rumors floating around that they want to make sure that we graduate all 4 years of med school on time. So what they might end up doing is taking lecture content from years 3 and 4 and pushing it to like right now so that we can get a head start on that and then fill in our clinical learning later. Like classes and clinical could start up basically whenever they want. Obviously they have to give us enough notice, but it's just like, it's so hard to not even like plan your life, but it's also really hard to plan like what kind of mental headspace you want to be in. Anyways, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that way as well. I've gotten a lot of wonderful positive comments and messages about my last video when I was crying and I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. So thank you, and I just want to say we are in this together, and I come from a very privileged point. I realize that I am so lucky to be going to university and pursuing my dream career, so I don't want this to come off as complaining at all. I know so many other people are literally dying from this disease, and I know a lot of people are putting their lives at risk in order to help those and help fight against COVID. So yeah, my hat goes off to those people, and if you are one of those frontline workers, thank you so much. And if you're not one of those essential services or workers, I hope that you're doing your part in staying home as much as you can. And I hope that we can get through this together. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I will be making more videos. And yeah, as usual, I'm kind of at home in this weird limbo period, and I don't technically have more time, but I'd love to make more videos. So if there's anything you want to see, comment below, because I want to use my new camera. And yeah, that is all for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye!